I would like to extend a warm welcome on behalf of SCC Online to Mr. Vineet Kumar. This conversation will take us through Major Vineet Kumar's journey of stepping into the cyber world, achieving new heights, being an entrepreneur, as well as working as an honorable territorial army officer, and how struggles and obstacles didn't become a hindrance to achieve honors and awards. Thank you for joining us today, sir. By requesting you to give our readers a glimpse of your journey as a student and about your interests in a nutshell, how, as a student, you gained interest in this field.
Sure, it's a long story. I'll cut it short. I'll try to be as short as possible. But in fact, it started when I was around 7 years old. And fortunately, my dad actually, he was serving with the Government of India PSU called Heavy Engineering Corporation Limited. My dad was in charge of IT modernization within the PSU. And HEC was one of the PSUs to receive early access to internet. So 1995 was the year when internet had almost come to India. And I was fortunate enough to kind of get that access because of my dad. So I used to go to his office initially to play games on computer, different kind of games and all. And later on, in fact, as I moved on, I was exposed to the world of internet by my dad. So he showed me how to send an email and then different stuff. That was the age of no Google, no Facebook. So you can imagine how different was that space. Only thing that was being done during that time was email. Through that PSU, in fact, they used to send orders to their counterparts in Russia and other countries, and email was the best medium then, other than fax. So I found it very interesting. And that's how I started working with him. Whatever time I used to get after my school, I used to make a rush to my dad's office, sit with him, observe people in his IT team on how they were connecting to the internet. Plus, in those days, again, it was not an easy access to internet. One actually was required to give a call to say the city nearest big city, Calcutta, because I was stationed in Ranchi. So on a STD line, we used to connect to the ISP first, and then we used to get access to the internet. So that was the dial-up kind of arrangement that time. So start learning then. So first 5 minutes used to be his office exchanging emails and exchanging important conversation. I still remember the name of the application. This was Eudora Lite that he used to use that time to kind of exchange those emails and get responses to the email. So that was for the first 5 minutes of the call. And I used to get 2 more minutes to spend some time on the internet and to explore what it is. So in those 2 minutes, I used to kind of explore on how do I send email. I used to send an email from his account to himself, just to explore how things happen. How does the exchange happen? Because this was a very interesting idea that time on, we had seen how mails were sent in the form of physical mailers, but this was something different, and how technology has made the life. So that was something that generated a lot of interest among me. And within the 2 minutes that I had, I used to use that 2 minutes for doing some kind of, again, browsing or accessing some certain websites and all that. And there were very few websites that time. I remember Yahoo was one that I used to check and all that. And it was not a Google arena at that time. So slowly and slowly, I got access to IRC channel, Internet Relay Chat channel. And one fine day when I was actually using my dad's computer, I got access to a hacker channel. Now, hacker in those days again, and till now, so far after so many years, this I'm talking 1997, 98, 99, that was the era. So hackers was taken as a negative word. And till today also, we can see a lot of publications mentioning hackers as a negative thing. So I got access to a hackers channel, and in that hackers channel, actually, I had a lot of black hats. Now, if you talk about hackers, they are categorized into three. mostly three, the prominent ones. One is a black hat hacker. Black hat is somebody who does things for a wrong cause with an ill intention or causing some kind of maybe hacks or maybe destroying the data. That is how they're taken. They're taken in the negative sense. White hat hacker is the one who work for a good cause. Like I started my career as a white hat hacker. The same knowledge is basically with both of them, but one decides to work on a positive side rather than negative. And the other third category is gray hat. Gray hat actually sits in between. It's like a wall. You can consider on one side of the wall you have black hat, on the other side you have white hat, and in between there's a wall where the gray hat hacker sits. So it depends basically. If something of maybe like for example, if there's something positive which that person or the individual is interested, he may jump on to white hat hacker side, or if he finds something interesting in the other side, like in the black hat kind of a thing, then he might jump to the other side. So it sits in the it's a combination of a white hat and a black hat, to put it in a very simple way. So I met one of the hackers again while browsing on the computer, and I was doing that. I was accessing that from my dad's PC, and this chap actually spoke to me for some time. I showed a lot of interest in the world of hacking and all because I was quite fascinated. And what I requested him that would you like to kind of mentor me so that I also learn the art of hacking. That individual must be he was in the age group I believe 45 to 50 years for sure, a very senior guy. He said, yes, sure, I'd like to kind of assist you. What I know is he was from America. Till today, I just know his code name, which I don't want to mention it here. So that was his code name. So what he told me, okay, fine, I'd like to show a live hack. And what he did was he tried to hack one of the major banks in US live in front of my eyes. So, and that made me very scared, number one. The second thing that he did, he said, I have access to the documents to your PC. That means he had access to my PC as well, the computer. So that made me super scared. So, but then he realized that I'm a very young chap and a student going to school. I was in my early school days that time. So he decided to kind of mentor me in the sense that he told me that there are a couple of websites where you can get access to content like this. So he left me with some content, some resources, which then I took on, and then further I started researching more into it, learning more about hacking and everything. So I mean, by 2001, I was very clear that I have to do something here in this space, and I would not prefer to do anything else because during that time, in fact, we lived in an era where engineers, doctors, or IS officers, I mean, they were the ones which basically the family wanted you to become. But fortunately, my parents were quite supportive. They said that whatever you want to do it, please continue doing it. Only thing is you don't do something wrong. So they had that confidence in me that I'll not do something wrong, and I kind of kept that confidence finally. So I created a group, a small group, an online group of like-minded individuals like me who can come together. But I thought that I'll use the same knowledge, but with something positive. Like I'll not use the knowledge in a wrong sense. I'll use the knowledge to protect individuals and organizations from cyber crimes and cyber attacks. Somewhat I could foresee things that the I would say 10 to 15 years down the line, the next generation of internet is going to come, and we are going to live in a connected world. So this was something that I could see in those days, and also there were some people whom I met and whom I interacted. They also had the similar kind of a vision. So in the year 2003, what I did was I set up, I would say, one of the world's first, I don't know, Asia definitely first, online hacking, anti-hacking group, which actually protects individuals and organizations from hackers. This was in the year 2003. And cybersecurity, ethical hacking, and all that, it was a caveman word during that time. Nobody knew what cybersecurity is. Nobody knew what ethical hacking itself was new. So we started working in this space and we started protecting individuals, started advising organization. And during that time, I'm now moving to the year 2003. I came across multiple incidents that were taking place. Plus, there was a cyber war between Indian hackers and Pakistan-based hackers. They were attacking each other. That also gave us the inroads to kind of do more work in this space. So I started learning more, started working with the team, and helping and assisting individuals. We started with few awareness programs in the universities and institution. And during that time, it was very difficult to get inroads because nobody had a clue and nobody used to understand the subject. So we faced a lot of rejections. Number one, everybody thought hacking, that means हमारा network hack हो जाएगा और हमारा data hack हो जाएगा. So they used to be scared with us. People used to maintain distance with us because you never know what these guys would do when they come inside our network, inside our institution. So people used to keep us slightly away. But there were some forward-looking institutions who thought, we have the skills and we should be invited to actually make the students aware of these skills so that more and more students should come in to this space. So BIT Mester, I remember, was the first institution to invite us, one of the major institutions. Then we had St. Xavier College in Ranchi. They invited us also to kind of share our thoughts. So they were the first few. And then slowly and slowly, people started following up on this. We registered National Anti-Hacking Group as a non-profit organization. It was an online group in 2003. After around 3 years, 2006, we registered it as a non-profit social organization, as a non-NGO in India. So that was one major thing that we did. And this was after we got featured by a leading tech magazine called as Digit. Digit is still famous. And I still remember it was July 2006. And in July 2006, we were on the cover page of Digit magazine. And I was in my class 11 that time in army school, and that was something that was really nice and coming on the cover page of a leading tech magazine, and that was a major achievement for all of us. So post that, in fact, we got into fame. We were known as Digit wrote us described National Anti-Hacking Group as the protectors of the nation's data, which the tagline itself was such a big tagline given to us by the tech magazine. So we are coming from that era. So after that, in fact, rest was all history. And we started getting plenty of invitations from left, right, and center, from organizations, individuals inviting us for talk shows, inviting us for news channels and all that. So we shot into fame after the Digit story. Then in 2007, in fact, I got featured by Rediff.com as an achiever. In fact, they highlighted around 10 such achievers from across India. In fact, there were people from like the CEO of Bharat Matrimony was one, then the CEO of Paramount Airways, and other people were there featured in the list. I was in that list in 2007. And a person like me who was in his 12, I was giving my 12 boards that time, and then getting featured into that. And that too, again, cybersecurity is one. Entrepreneurship is again something that people never knew about it. Now, thanks to all the awareness that's happening, everybody is now willing to become and come into this space. Whereas I was coming from a tier 3 city, first of all, in Jharkhand, where people, in fact, had no clue what I was doing. What is this organization? What does he want to do in the future? Everybody was concerned about me that I am going into a wrong track, wrong side. But fortunately, my parents were with me. They stood behind me. They were quite supportive into all the activities. And that's how I continued doing and ignoring all that discussions that were happening around me, that he's going to waste his life and all that. So I used to kind of ignore that and continue with the journey. So there were some, I would say, first few achievements that I had, and that gave me like an indication that moving on to the right side. I'm not kind of spoiling my career, or I'm not spoiling my life. I'm doing things in the right way, and I felt there was a need. There was a problem about cybercrime that I felt as a non-profit, because first I had established a non-profit organization. National Anti-Hacking Group was an NGO. So I thought that this is the right way to kind of educate people and make people aware, and we are moving on the right track. So that's how I continued the journey. And 2007 itself, in fact, 2008 rather, sorry, it was 2008. I got the UN award also, UN Youth Achievement Award for cyber. That time it was the Millennium Development Goals. So under the MDGs, I think I was the first one to get a award from the UN Youth Assembly on the cybersecurity space, working on the cybersecurity space, and kind of contributing to the Millennium Development Goals. So that was one more achievement. One more thing that I had done, because we had scarcity of fund always. Nobody used to donate money. Nobody used to support us with money. So I was finding it as a big challenge for me to sustain the operations of National Anti-Hacking Group. So what we did is basically we set up a for-profit organization also called Security Brigade. I had a partner in Mumbai, Yash. So both of us, we set up that organization in 2006. And whatever revenue we used to get, we used to donate a part of the revenue to National Anti-Hacking Group's activities, social activities like educating people and all that. After the digit kind of coverage and also Rediff story on us, we started getting work orders also. I remember Vodafone was the first company that invited us, and they asked us to test our networks, to test their networks for security. So that was a big achievement. And rest, we started getting offers and kind of requests like this. So earlier, whatever we are doing, like for example, informing people about their security lapses or issues, complimentary. Later on, people said, "You do it for us. We'll pay you. We'll pay some money." So that was the first few kind of project that we backed initially, and through that we started sustaining our operations. So initially it started with we used to discover bugs in the website and free of cost, and then once we presented the bugs to the admin, then they used to come back to us with the offers that you kind of look after it. So, but this also happened much later. Initially, we also faced threats from the company that how did you get inside our network? We'll put you inside jail. The intent was all social, but then people took it negatively. But later on, this thing changed, and now you see now even the MNCs and multiple organizations they invite hackers to come inside the network. They give bounties to the hackers. So that era was very different. So slowly and slowly things started moving, and in the year 2007 itself, I got an opportunity from the government of Jharkhand, and they wanted me to have me on board. In fact, in government of Jharkhand as an advisor. I was not having a formal degree that time. I was not having my bachelor's degree. I had just 2007. I cleared my board, so after that I was supposed to enroll in a college. So they said we'll keep you as an advisor and we'll pay you kind of a consulting fee. Once you kind of achieve your bachelor's degree, then we will kind of give you a proper job. So that's how things started moving. I started helping Jharkhand Police. Was the agency I was given an office there. I was heading IT modernization and the cyber cell. Very few people know that Jharkhand was one of the state to start a lot of things quite early. Cyber cell was one of the things when the entire world was thinking about it. In fact, the different Indian state, other than Mumbai cyber cell, it was Jharkhand to start the cyber cell operations in Ranchi. A state cyber cell was set up, which I was heading. Post that, in fact, we had a lot of things. Later on, I met with another individual, Mr. S.N. Pradhan, there in Jharkhand Police. So he was the IG operation that time. So we thought that, again, I just told him about how things are going to shape up. Like next 10 years, how things will move on from this, what we are doing currently. And I requested him to establish a center, a state level agency that can kind of do researches in cybersecurity space and also protect individuals. So he kind of had some trust in me, and we started the dialogue with the chief minister. Mr. Arjun Munda was the chief minister. So he had, we had an interesting conversation then, and he said, let's set it up. Let Jharkhand be the first state to set up a dedicated agency on cyber defense. But one request that was made to me was to head that agency. So the entire thing kind of moved on the process. You know how things work within government. So it took 4 years for us to kind of get the center approved. 2011, the state cabinet under the leadership of Chief Minister Arjun Munda, actually gave approval to the center. And 2011 is when I finished my bachelor's also. So December, immediately after finishing my bachelor, in the month of January, with my provisional certificate, that's what I had. So I was made to join the Cyber Defense Research Center as the chief of the center. So I headed that, and I was 22 years old that time. So at the age of 22, given a responsibility to head a state level research center was massive for me. But yes, with the support of again a lot of well-wishers and also individuals, plus Mr. Pradhan, who had also become the ADG that time, Additional Director General of Police of Modernization, we could kind of run that center in a very unique way, which today also, fast forward now, in 2022, many state government are following that model. In fact, Kerala Police Cyber Dome is also following the Cyber Defense Research Center Jharkhand model, and many more are going to come up. So we are much ahead of time. Right? I continued to run National Anti-Hacking Group. By the way, the operations were running. Security Brigade I had exited in 2011, but National Anti-Hacking Group, because it was a social entity, I was running, and all the activities were aligned to CyberPeace. So CyberPeace activity we started doing from the year 2000 onwards. So all the activities and everything, and same thing. Most of the activities I also had under the Cyber Defense Research Center banner. So we kept on going, we kept on doing till around 2014 February. I thought it's time to kind of dedicatedly run the organization. I was done running the state government agency. It was running in a sustainable fashion. We had teams also set up in place. So I thought it's time to move on, and it's time to kind of run the own enterprise that I have, because I have the flexibility. Plus, I cannot. I mean, if within the, Cyber Defense Research Center was within Jharkhand, so we are confined to the state boundaries, and cyberspace does not have a boundary. So I thought it's time to go back to the same organization, National Anti-Hacking Group, and then kind of keep it to a international scale, not just get us limited to national. So that was renamed. National Anti-Hacking Group was renamed in the year 2013 to CyberPeace Foundation. So this entity was changed because our activities were related to CyberPeace. So NAG was renamed to CyberPeace Foundation in 2013. And since then, I took on full time as the president of the foundation. Plus, I also went to do my higher studies. I was selected for Chevening Scholarship. So I went to UK to do my postgrad in cyber defense and information assurance. Completed that there in UK. And I was using whatever I gained there in UK, knowing the UK ecosystem. I tried to do things here in India under the CyberPeace Foundation. A lot of activities I did in collaboration with the UK government, also in other collaboration with the other government. So till around 2014, this was my major thing. I was also selected for Territorial Army. I cleared parallelly in 2014. I gave my written examination. I cleared my SSB. I cleared my prelim interview board. I cleared my medicals, made it to the merit list, and finally I was there. So I got commissioned with the Territorial Army in the year 2014, and so I was running both the things side by side. So I had a different kind of a view of being part of the army. It was a complete 360-degree switch for me.
Yes, sir.
Since then, the journey has been on. The CyberPeace Foundation has been expanding to not just India, but now we have our operations in other countries as well. We are now in Africa. We are now in US. So we have 3 global offices. One in India, one in Africa, and one in US. Other than that, our volunteers are now in 40 countries. In India, almost we have operations in every state. Cyber is one such thing, like I mentioned, because there is no boundary. So we are also not limiting ourselves into the boundary and trying to do whatever we can as a non-profit. We have a lot of challenges, issues, budget constraints, and all that, but still we are trying to the community as much as we can. So, in a brief, this is how it happened. The rest after 2015, there's a lot of things, a lot of achievements that come our way. Like I got the national Youth Award also from Government of India. The national, it's the highest honor given to a youth. Something like a Padma Award by the Government of India. So I was a recipient of that award as well. And other, I made it to some of the list also. Like recently, I was in the list of World Economic Forum as the Global Social Entrepreneur of the Year. I was one of the finalists for that. And other than that, in fact, British Council also selected me as a future leader, as one of the 16 future leaders selected from across the world to be there in the UK. In fact, we had kind of some sessions from Mr. Kofi Annan, Ban Ki-moon, and others. Plus Richard Branson, I had an interaction with Richard Branson as well. So some of the leaders who are in this space, I got to interact with them. He was also in 2017 selected for IVLP, the International Visitors Leadership Program that is given by the Department of States, United States of America. They selected me as an IVLP on cyber. So I was there in US for a month, visited different institutions from government, academia, industry to all of these places. So kind of this is how things happen. This is how the entire journey happened. I try to cut it short, but
no worries, sir. That was actually an amazing story, sir. That was really inspiring for all of our readers. And seeing how a 90s kid who was still in school was actually, so much interested and had so much passion in all these things. So, this is an amazing movie, and I'm going to learn, and our readers are going to learn so many things from you throughout this conversation. Okay, so you told us about national anti hacking, and you told us about CPF, how NAC converted into CPF, and how you actually got CyberPeace Foundation into the picture. I also, our readers also want to know who all are the acting directors of CPF.
So like I mentioned, that CyberPeace, we wanted this to go global right from the day this was registered as a non-profit here in India. So the kind of directors, if you ask about the founding team comes from different backgrounds. Like, for example, we have Mr. S.N. Pradhan, who is currently the Director General of the Narcotics Control Bureau, NCB. He's still serving with Government of India with Ministry of Home Affairs. He was earlier the DG of NDRF. So I would say he's like a co-founder to the entire initiative. We have people who are ex-United Nations, people from who serve with United Nations, UNICEF, and other agencies. Like one of them is Mr. Prakash. Prakash has around, I would say, 20, more than 20, I believe, 20, 25 years of experience from the civil society sector. So he brings the civil society perspective. Then we have people like we have Ms. Stuti Narayan Kakkar. So Stuti ma'am is currently the Chancellor of Subhati University. So and earlier she was Industry Secretary to the Government of India. And previous to this, in fact, she had a small stint with NCPCR, Chairperson of the National Commission for Protection of Child Rights. We have some officers from serving, retired officers from Army, Navy, and Air Force who are part of it. So they are being represented again. Then we have people from the industry. We have people from academia. We have people from the government. We have people from the civil society, people from media, press. So that's how the team is built up. So one is the board that is there. Then we have the advisory board that is there. It's a global advisory council. After we went global, then we set up the global advisory council. So we have not just people from India, but other countries as well who are part of the advisory council.
That is amazing, sir. Yes, sir. Sorry to interrupt, sir.
No. So that's how, briefly, that's how the entire foundation is structured. And we actually have four major pillars in the foundation. One is, which is, I say, a very important vertical for the foundation: policy, advocacy, and cyber diplomacy. That's our vertical number one. Vertical number two is innovation and research. So we do a lot of research activities. Under the policy, advocacy, cyber diplomacy, we contribute to a lot of, I would say, requests that comes in from governments on cyber laws, or maybe like you must have heard about the PDP, the Personal Data Protection Bill. Invited, feedback. So we were also the ones who contributed to it. Globally, also we have been contributing to UN, advising the UN on several cyber-related aspects. We have been conducting a global dialogue. We started with 2020, but we are doing it almost every year, called CyberPeace Dialogues, wherein we get people from different continents to brainstorm about key issues of the cyberspace. Like, for example, geopolitics of cyberspace, cross-border data flows, and other such things that we discuss into that. Mostly related to tech policy that's being discussed here. Next, we have research. To the research, we have cyber clubs, cyber peace center of excellence that we have established in the academic institutions. Because cyberspace is huge. It's like, I would say it's like an ocean. If you start going deeper into it, you'll find a lot of things that can be done. So what we have done is we felt that in India and also in Africa also, I feel it's the same thing, that in fact, the ecosystem on cybersecurity was missing. So what we try to do is, according to us, we strongly felt that academia is going to play a very key role here. So we started equipping the academia with the right set of knowledge, connecting them to individuals, organization, industry, government all together. So we started a concept of cyber peace centers of excellence. The first COE was set up at Gujarat Technological University, GTU in Gujarat. And now we have around 30 such COEs, which are scattered in different parts of India. We have COEs outside as well in Kenya, in Nigeria and other places. But in India, we have these 30 centers of excellence. Majority of them are with NITs, IITs, or VJTI is one of them, VJTI in Mumbai. We also go to such institutions who don't have that facility to set up a COE, and we try to kind of do something for them as well. Well, it's not just IITs, IIMs or NITs. We should be building those capacities with the smaller institutions also. So we have the concept of clubs for smaller institutions. All together, they all add up to creating an ecosystem for cybersecurity. So that if I'm a student, for example, if you are a student, if you are interested to come into this space, then I should have a platform where I can go, I can learn about security, and then I can also get to interact with experts who are in this space. So that was the whole idea. Rather than just giving books or some content and then asking students to do it themselves. Here we need research ecosystem. So with the centers of excellence, we do live projects. Students who are interested, we engage them in live projects. And it's tech as well as non-tech. First of all, I say cybersecurity is, people mistake cybersecurity as it's a very technical subject. Whereas what I believe, it's not a technical subject anymore. Even non-tech people can play a role in the cybersecurity space, provided they know about it. So it's like a wrong notion that cybersecurity has just to do with technical people who do their BTech programs and MTech programs, they only can contribute, which is wrong. People, even I have come across many people who are BA in history honors, and still they are contributing to the entire ecosystem. So that's what we are trying to do. We are working with tech institution, non-tech institution, colleges like we signed up MOU recently with the National Law University Bhopal. We have been working with NLSIU Bangalore. There's a dialogue that is going on with Delhi as well. So different law colleges together. In fact, we are trying to do something on techno-legal aspects also, because this is something that is emerging. We don't have much experts under the techno-legal space. So all of this is adding up to creating that ecosystem for cybersecurity.
My next question for you is that while you have been a proud recipient of 8 international and 17 national prestigious awards, like you said, like special recognition award, CISO Award, Karmaveer Chakra, you got Karmaveer Chakra in 2008. You might have experienced ebbs and lows. So kindly apprise our readers with the struggles with that motivated you to pursue your career, and how this has become such a big inspiration for and will become an inspiration for our readers.
Well, definitely. I mean, there had been a lot of struggles in my life, but the way things worked for me, for example, the very first struggle was the place where I used to come from. I used to come from a small city called Ranchi, tier 3 city. And that itself, I mean, till today, I mean, though there's a lot of awareness that has come in here, connectivity has come in here. Back then in 2000s and late 90s, I had a tough time getting access to technology here, getting access to connectivity here. So the way it functioned for me is, I mean, I just need to keep going. I used to find a way. There were a lot of roadblocks. Number one, I mean, making people, like I mentioned about some of the issues, like mentioning people that you need cybersecurity. And then people were like, no, we don't need cybersecurity. All those dialogue. And that too coming from this space, a space where we are not having a kind of a proper ecosystem related to cybersecurity, or if you talk about entrepreneurship, nobody to back you, nobody to support you. We all got, I mean, in fact, my organization also, we were bootstrapping. Nobody supported. Like, we need, I like you, I'll give you say X amount. Like you see today in Shark Tanks India, you go with an idea, and then there are many backers. Somebody says, okay, I'll give you X amount, I'll give you Y amount. In my time, there was no such thing, and there was no such model. There were no VCs, no angel investors. So I just kept going. It was whether my expenses that I used to get from my dad as a pocket money. I mean, whatever money he used to give, I used to save that money and used to continue investing in the organization. Or whether it was like I used to, for some time, I even worked with one of the management institution as their website designer. So it was a small institution. They offered me a small money. I said, fine, I'll do it for you. So I find out various ways and kept focused on my goal. My ultimate goal was doing something in this space. And that I was very clear with the picture. Whatever I did was to support my activity. I joined Jharkhand Police also because I felt through this I would be able to contribute to all my cyber related activities that I am doing. So that way I was very clear with the vision, and I always used to find a way to get out of that problem. If the problem was here in the city, in fact, what we felt is working just in Jharkhand, we are doing some good stuff, but it's not coming to the limelight. Like, and that we realized, unfortunately, we realized it much later. If we had started it much early, say in the era when we started in the early 2000s, we would have been at a different space. But we don't regret that decision. Later on, we realized it that we should expand our base. We should not just concentrate here. So what we did was immediately we expanded to Delhi. And then after we came to Delhi, we got into the circles, and then we started understanding funding organization. And by the time a lot of awareness had already come in, people were starting to realize, okay, this is a problem. They started taking the problem seriously. So that was something that things changed, times changed. And now today, if you talk about cybersecurity, everybody is, guys, I also need security. Can you help? Can you help? So we are coming in that stage. So wherein I'm getting requests that I'm unable to fulfill because I have a lot of things in my plate. And I'm coming from that era where I used to go to their doorstep, request them, hey guys, get this thing done. This is very important. They used to tell me, no, this is not required for me. This is not important for me. This is not in my priority. So all of that. So basically, you need to keep going in small. If you're passionate about something, like I just feel one thing, that you should have fire burning inside your bellies. So if you have that, then you'll make things happen. Kuch bhi hoga, kuch bhi problem aayega, anything that you are going to face, you will learn the art of overcoming that problem. And that's what I did.
So like we can say you had so many struggles and you actually had to, you had to put so much effort into it. Any one mantra, something more stronger that, when you were at your final level, or you were at your saturation level, that I cannot do anymore? What was that one thing that kept you pushed, that, I have to do this? One thing that actually others, when they are at their saturation level, now we can't do. There is, everything's done, nobody's supporting us. And plus this was such a new topic for everyone. So, one thing, what can you give?
That's what I told you. You have to learn the art to, continue doing your stuff, even though you find all odds around. If you are a firm believer of your idea or the concept that you are kind of promoting it, you have to believe it in first. The world would, like in my case, people came with multiple kind of issues, problems and everything. And they said, no, this is not going to work. They trashed my idea in front of me. People came later with an offer to fund the idea. The same people came later. But at that point of time, there were all of these people were coming, and I was at some point of it, I felt demotivated also. Then that is the time that you have to decide no. If there are so many rejections, that
True.
means there is something in my idea, and I have to keep on working on it. And if you believe it strongly, it's like do or die. So मेरे लिए तो it was just either do it or die. बस करना है करना है करना है, नहीं होगा fail होंगे, no worries. I'll fail. I'll take that failure and I'll probably restart again. And there are a lot of failures, lot of issues, and then there was a lot of fund crunch. In fact, there was a point in my life that my dad also supported me. We had to sell off some land. I had some property. I had to sell that, pump those money, whatever I used to get into this thing, because he felt if I believe it in, I have kind of interest in it, then he should find a way to support it. And unfortunately, as government servant, he was not having too much money in his pockets to support. The only thing we had was some land, which said that if you are so much interested and passionate into this, then I'll kind of support you with that. So it happened, and then I had to pump in some money there, but I used to keep going. So keep going is a mantra at the end that I would like to advise all the listeners who are there today.
That was amazing, sir. So our next question from our readers will be that you made it to the Forbes 30 under 30, right? And you have evolved as a very strong entrepreneur. Also, as we talked in the earlier conversation, that you are a part of Indian Territorial Army. So, what is the driving force for serving a tenure in the government system despite founding your own organization? Like, what is the substance that today's youth can draw from this?
See, I mean, I would say one, the concept of territorial army, it's very unique, and very few people know about it.
Yes.
So, a person of my kind who wants to pursue what I am doing today, like all the activities, whether startup, for-profit, non-profit startup, I have these ventures now with me who are working on different kind of things. So that's something that is definitely something that I've been doing from my childhood. That's number one. I also had a childhood dream to serve with the government. So both of them. So I served briefly with the government of Jharkhand again as a chief of the center, but I wanted to have my uniform on me, and wanted to go, in fact, explore how things happen in JNK and all that, and wanted to contribute to my motherland. As an entrepreneur, also I'm contributing to the motherland. But then I had a different dream of wearing the uniform, going to the operational areas and all that. So I was initially shortlisted for regular army. In fact, I had got the SSB offer also, but then realizing that if I switch to the regular army, I might not get time to kind of look after my organization, and all of that I've been doing for so many years would go for a toss, and everything would almost be over after I go there. So then somebody shared the idea of territorial army with me, because I've been helping the Indian Army right from my school days. I was in army school, and when I was in army school, I used to go to College of Military Engineering and other army training establishment to train officers on cyber security. Different regiments used to take my help when I was in army school. So I had that kind of idea, and I had a lot of good friends from army who used to understand that I'm quite interested in this space. So one of the officers actually shared that you must definitely explore territorial army if you're not looking for a full-time engagement with the army. So I just read about it, and I found out that you have to contribute for some time. 2 months in a year is mandatory. People can serve for the entire year also. That depends on the vacancy, but 2 months is mandatory for you. So I said out of 12 months, I can take out 2 months. And in those 2 months, I will wear the uniform and I'll give back to the motherland. So that's how it happened. And I found it a way and immediately got enrolled. I filled up the application form. I was then selected. I gave my examination. The only examination I gave in my life was territorial army exam, which I was not sure that I will pass. I didn't appear for any competitions like people appear for a lot of competitions and all that. I had never appeared in any of them. I was very clear. My focus picture was very clear what I have to do from the beginning, and that is what I expect. I request the readers also to be very clear with the picture. ये नहीं कि you're doing BTech, then you're jumping to MBA. So be very clear what you have to achieve in life, and then align all of your activities, studies, and everything to the ultimate goal that you have, and at the end. And that's what I saw. So this is how I appeared. I cleared the SSB first attempt. My examination was clear. God's grace, I cleared it because there are a lot of questions. In fact, history and all, which probably in my school days I used to just study to pass. My mantra was very clear, like I told you. But here, this was a different world altogether. But fortunately, I passed. And then interview and SSB, because I was confident facing the crowd. I interacted with officers and all that. So that was very clear. So one shot, my prelim interview board got clear, which was headed by a Major General. He took along with officers. Then I was recommended for SSB. In TA, that actually there's two level of interviews. There's one additional level of interviews that happen. So you clear your written, then you clear your prelim interview board, which happens at the command level. Then you appear for SSB. That SSB itself was very nice. In fact, I was kind of not sure whether I'll pass the day two or not. But fortunately, I did it. I cleared the SSP. I was in the medical board, cleared my medical board, and then finally I landed up in the Territorial Army. Since then, this I would say it's a fantastic organization that I am currently into. In my current unit, part of 124 Infantry Battalion TS6, which is at the India Gate, and the other officers are like, for example, we have Mr. Sachin Pilot, Captain Sachin Pilot, who is there, who was the Deputy Chief Minister of the state of Rajasthan. We have the current Union Minister of India, Union Minister of Broadcasting, Mr. Anurag Thakur. He is a unit officer, he's captain. We have other officers also. We have Abhinav Bindra. He's an honorary commission officer, who's part of 124 Infantry TS6. So it's a very unique world altogether, where you get to meet celebrities like Mahendra Singh Dhoni and all that were part of this institution. And you can also contribute. As a commission officer, I contribute. I have just come down from Siachen. I was there, in fact, in Ladakh for some time, serving again the Indian Army. And I've been at different places. I've been in the Northeast. I've been in the JNK. I've been at different locations because as Territorial Army, we are infantry officers. So infantry officers, it's the soldiers on the ground. So where we serve on the ground, it's not, we have nothing to do with tech there. I'm not involved in technical activities or technology activities. So all I have to do is play with rocket launchers. So these are the things. So it's a 360-degree switch for me, but it gives me a different perspective of life and how things happen in the armed forces. I feel I'm getting more and more structured there, because I'm trying to learn a lot of activities. There's a lot of learnings there. In fact, in terms of how you control manpower management to everything, command and control manpower. So I try to bring that learning into my organization also. So that is more and more structured. So it's complementing. Both of the organizations are complementing each other. And I am enjoying it, frankly speaking.
So that's really great. Actually, this gives our readers a very good picture of whatever your passion is, be it your childhood dream or be it your passion. There is no excuse to it. So if you're even doing something, you can achieve your passion along with it. Like, that's amazing, sir. Okay, so our next question will be, can you throw some light on the kind of projects being taken up by CPF and its agglomerated assignments with few examples?
Sure. So number one, I'll mention about some key activities which the students basically would be interested. And number one is we do something called as the Global CyberPeace Challenge. It's a global hackathon. It was launched by the Honorable Prime Minister Modi, along with the Sri Lankan Prime Minister in 2017. And since then, we have been continuing this global challenge. In the first edition, around 40 countries participated. The last edition that we did in 2021, we had 70 countries who participated. This year, the registrations have just closed, and 107 countries are participating this time. So it's growing. It's like the Cyber Olympics. So anybody, and especially for the law students, for example, if they're law students, we have a track called as Cyber Strategy and Cyber Policies. where people come from the tech policy schools, basically, who are there. We have cyber diplomats, we have foreign ministers who are in the track one part of this. So it's ongoing, though registrations are closed, but you can follow the developments at cyberchallenge.net. That's the Cyber Challenge official website. Other than that, we have programs that we do with Ministry of Education in terms of Project E-Raksha, which is again a competition for college students and school students. The website is eraksha.net. Ministry of Education, AICT, NCRT, CBSE, they support this particular competition. We jointly organize this. And we have various painting competitions, blogging competition, app making competition, anything, I mean, jingle making competition. So any non-techie can also contribute to that competition. So their website is eraksha.net. You can get all the competition related detail at eraksha. This also has been closed as of now, but will begin again in the month of April. Registrations will start in the month of April 2022. We run Project eSaksham. eSaksham, this is in collaboration with All India Council for Technical Education, AICTE, where we are training around 5 lakh students and educators on cybersecurity. We are also opening 50 clubs in institutions, 50 clubs across India. So we are getting a lot of requests by institutions to open a club in their institution also. But in the phase one, we are just opening 50 clubs. So we are very selective on the institution, and any institution has a lot of interest, passion to drive it. We are selecting that institution to open the club there. So this club again will have various activities. We firmly believe that cybersecurity is not something that you convey via do's and don'ts, like I mentioned earlier. You need to have an ecosystem, research ecosystem. You need to have activities going for the student, so that student can participate in debate competition, blog writing competition, slogan writing. There are singing competitions also on cybersecurity, and let me share you can find all of that links on YouTube. Somebody created a rock music on cybersecurity. So all of that is a part of eRaksha, and also eSaksham is what we plan to do. We are also going to create 25,000 volunteers across India, those who can sustain our mission and vision. We'll be training them first at our art centers, and then thereafter we'll be hand-holding these volunteers to spread awareness about cybersecurity. All that content and all will be created by us, and they'll be just disseminating that content. So that's Project eSaksham. We, with Ministry of Women and Child, National Commission for Women, we run Project Digital Shakti, which is again to bring more women into the cybersecurity space and making them aware and safe in the cyberspace. So last year we trained around 1 lakh women. This year we are going to touch 2 lakh. And it's an ongoing project which your institution can also enroll, and we can conduct some sessions for you as well under Digital Shakti. Then like that, we have programs running with WhatsApp, program running with other institutions. UNICEF is also one of our main funders. So with UNICEF, we have training programs to train law enforcement on cybercrime investigation. We are also setting up specialized cyber cells, cyber units in the state police. So that is something that we are doing. We are setting up COEs within the state police as well. So these are some of the key projects. In fact, you can also refer to our website and social media to get updates about all the projects that CyberPeace Foundation is running. But I just shared some of our key projects that is running so far.
That was actually amazing, sir. I think a lot of people, a lot of students who are interested in such projects will soon you will get a number high from this. And okay, so
yeah, sorry, we will be very happy to even have, like, one of the things that CyberPeace Foundation does is any interested student who's kind of interested here, who has passion, who has the passion to learn more, can also enroll as a intern with CyberPeace Foundation. Okay. The internship can be 1 month, 2 months, 6 months, and for a year also. So we are providing a paid internship to some of the smarter students who are quite good into content writing, maybe speaking. So they have been interning with us for when they were in their first year, and they continue to do that in their fourth year also. So, and this is an ongoing internship, so we don't put an end to the internship. So they get paid internship, they get paid for the entire duration of the work that they do for the foundation.
Wow, that's great, sir. Okay, so like these projects taken up by CPF, there have been, I think, a lot of projects. So what were the most demanding and or maybe exciting projects that CPF has taken till now?
See, whatever we do, it's all exciting. So I cannot say one project. And the
Okay.
other, all of the work that we do, whether it is cyber or we do some kind of relief activities also. During COVID, we were actually CyberPeace Foundation teamed up with NDRF, and we did some relief activities on the ground. We distributed food, clothing, and other stuff to people who were in need. So we have been doing such activities also as a foundation, because we strongly feel that we should give back to the community in whatever form we can. We should not restrict ourselves. So whatever activity we are doing, it's all interesting. All of the people during COVID time, some people were like right now also many of our team members are COVID positive, but they are so much passionate that working from home, they're still driving a lot of initiatives and activities sitting in their home. So all of us, we are really passionate. It's not just me. I would say it's the entire team of the team members who are there, and these supporters, volunteers who are there. All of them are quite interested in all the activities. They're passionate about the activities, so that the impact is seen on the ground. And we are all of the activities are extremely important to us.
That was amazing, sir. Okay, so based on your opinion, what is the current status quo of cybersecurity in our country? Like with new advancements like metaverse and Tesla budding up, what can be anticipated from the future of cybersecurity hold in India? Like, how do you plan to tackle these challenges and the upcoming technologies like metaverse and Tesla? And how do you
I
like?
believe
Will you create? Yeah, sorry.
Sorry, sir. Please go ahead.
Like, yeah, so how are you going to create some plans, or are you already have you already started tackling them, or yeah, what is the plan, what is the thing?
Yes. So new and emerging technologies will keep coming. So I mean, tomorrow it was something else. Yesterday it was something else. Tomorrow it would be something else. And technologies like metaverse and other things you'll keep hearing. And because emerging tech is something that probably 10 years down the line you'll see plenty of other stuffs coming in. So technology is never going to die, and so are the challenges. With great, I would say, responsibilities come greater challenges. I'm copying this from Spider-Man, but I'm just telling you that technology brings great powers with us. With great powers, we get great responsibilities as well. So that opens the door for a lot of challenges also, like challenges like there have been issues like sextortion, bullying, stalking, and other stuff, ransomware attacks. So we have a lot of challenges, but yes, I feel all these challenges open road for someone to solve this challenge. So as student, we should be in the lookout. How can I solve this problem? There could be a number of startup ideas to solve the challenges that are currently there. So it is opening doors, and I see a great future. Let me see. I see cybersecurity as a space which is evergreen. It's never going to die. Like technology is not going to die, cybersecurity is not going to die. So great future. In fact, 5-6 years down earlier, it was the statistics that government released was we need 5 lakh cybersecurity experts. Last year, government said we need 15 lakh cybersecurity experts. Okay, so it's increasing, and just wait for the data protection bill to become an act. You'll see massive increase in the numbers. So it's going to increase, and you can see the NASSCOM statistics. In fact, this last year's statistics was NASSCOM 15 lakh. I'm sure after 1 or 2 years, NASSCOM will again revise the statistics, and they said we'll need around 25 lakh cybersecurity experts. So there's huge gap in this space, and I feel a lot of people who are kind of thinking to come into this space, and they are in a fix whether I should come in or not. Either you blindly follow this, blindly come into this space, follow what the expert has to say, has to say, learn about cybersecurity. Not necessarily you need to do a certification or something. You can self-learn. Like I did everything. I learned it on myself. I mean, just going through different forum, website, activities. I'm a self-learner. Nobody did some kind of I didn't enroll for a formal education also properly on cybersecurity. It was just after I got Chevening scholarship, then I went to Cranfield University to do it, and then later on I went to Cambridge also to do my leadership. But then it was all something that I learned on myself. I mean, I explored this space. I kept visiting different websites and networks, and that's how I learned. So that's what you need to do. Have that hunger to kind of learn things, keep exploring, and everything will fall into line. The other thing is, as CyberPeace Foundation, we also have been running the program. For those who are actually looking for a formal program, we run some diploma program with some institution. We are going to launch one program with Christ University also. We are launching BTech program, BTech Computer Science and Cyber Security with one university, MTech program. We have a MBA program in cybersecurity management. So all of that program is there. So people who are interested to have a kind of a formal degree also, they can enroll in programs, and there are many such programs running on Great Learning and other websites. So just choose the right one, get into the space, and the future is bright. I would say a lot of opportunities coming your way, and every problem is kind of demanding a solution. And as a technologist, or as a lawyer, or as somebody who's interested in this space, you can solve that problem.
That was great. Okay, thank you so much, sir. Okay, so next question is, the concept of Atmanirbhar Bharat provided a vision and mission to you and CPF in collaboration to accomplish a lot on its own. Given the ongoing pandemic, cyber spectrum is experiencing a boom with increasing number of cyber attacks. What is the contribution of CPF for providing remedy and protection to its victims?
So I had already mentioned everything what I earlier said. I just like to add that yes, CPF is busting a lot of misinformation campaign that is going on during the pandemic. We have a project called as End Infodemic, where we are tracking fake news, we are tracking phishing, we are tracking any kind of financial frauds using instant loan application and sites. So we are tracking all of that, and then we are releasing an advisory there. Kind of providing relief to the victims. We are busting criminal gangs through that. Plus, on the second side, we have a very active CyberPeace helpline. CyberPeace helpline is manned by experts. As of now, we have not made it public to that extent, but by the word of mouth, people are getting to know that CyberPeace runs a helpline, and on that helpline, we are getting a lot of requests, like people approaching us. For example, if their Instagram ID gets hacked, they reach out to us. Then we try to team up with the Instagram team to provide relief to the victim without that individual going to the police. After due diligence, both us at our level and Instagram level, we are able to solve. Same goes with Twitter, same goes with Facebook, because we have working relationship with them. So at the end, on the ground, we have been doing all of that needs to be done to kind of provide relief to the victim. We have also set up a task force which kind of tracks child sexual abuse material, CSAM. We do research also. Our research team does constant research on how excuse me, child sexual abuse materials, CSAM, is being circulated on different platforms, whether it is end-to-end platform or whether it is social media. We kind of continuously we keep doing those researches and then release a report. Our reports, you can find it on the LSE website, on Columbia University website. It's all, they have quoted our researches also. And on the other hand, we have this task force which constantly hunts for these predators. We team up with the state polices also, so that these predators are caught, they are put behind bars for doing such activities. There are a lot of cases related to trafficking that is happening, trafficking in the cyberspace, because now, or because of the pandemic, victims are at home and they're approached by all these criminals through social media, through instant messages, and then that's how they get into the trap. The first connect is through these platforms. So via this task force, we try to give our best, and it's a small team, but a very passionate team. So whatever we can handle, in fact, in terms of investigating crimes and also assisting the police, we try to do all of that and provide relief to the victims.
That is great, sir. Our readers actually learning a lot about it. So, so a very important question, especially from our readers. How important is doing proper legal research about this cyber world, and how should law students equip themselves with legal research skills? Like, also, like, could you please throw some light on exhaustion of research and its importance in law, especially relating to the cyber?
Very important. And this I'm telling you because majority of our research teams are techno legal experts. So they have technical background and also law background. Some of them are BTech LLBs. There is an integrated program wherein you can do BTech and then you can further pursue LLB. So in our team, we have BTech LLBs also on board. So this is very important because in terms of, like I was mentioning, CSAM. So one is you do technical research, and then you also do legal research on what's there, what is missing. All of that needs to be brought in together, and that's how we send an advisory to the governments or to the UN agencies. Hey guys, this is the problem. This is the gap. There's a gap in, for example, cyber laws. We have already mentioned that, and you'll see a new version of IT Act coming soon. The IT Act was last amended in 2008, and after that, we are expecting a new version very soon. So all of that adds to this. Plus, cybersecurity strategy, policies, and all that. I feel lawyers have an important role to play. Lawyers with some technical bent of mind, a lawyer who understands technology, who understands different platform. If we can club these things together, I think that has a long way to go. In fact, I will not say immediate, there's a lot of requirement, but in the future, there will be plenty of requirements after this PDP comes into power. So yes, answer is extremely important.
Thank you so much, sir. Moving on to the last question. I would like to deduce this informative and inspirational discourse while looking forward for your suggestions to eradicate cyber attacks with more robust internal systems to strengthen security measures and educate an individual to be more vigilant about cyber security risks. So, what can an individual on his personal level, you know, perform some measures to secure his cyber world?
Sure. I have a long list, but what I'll do is, keeping time in mind, I'll just stick to one of the brochures that CyberPeace Foundation has. We'll be very happy to share all of that content with you so that you can disseminate to the viewers. Number two is we have a very active social media. So you can follow us at the rate CyberPeace Core, CORPS, Cyber CYBERPEACE, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on other channels as well. The other thing is we run something called as CyberPeace TV. So on that channel, if in fact, if you just go on YouTube and search for CyberPeace, you'll find that channel there, CyberPeace TV. Just like and subscribe. All of these advices with to-dos, like how do you do it yourself. All that videos are there. All you need to do is go to the channel, see the videos, and then that's how you can get access to all the content. But briefly, I'll just read out the note that I have in one of our kind of content brochure. Number one is to keep your software up to date. Whatever you're using, whether you're using an operating system or a mobile platform or say Android or iOS, you need to keep it up to date. Plus also the applications that you're deploying. For example, if you have a VLC player in your Apple iPhone or your Android, that also needs to be updated on a regular basis. So that it's very important because bugs keep coming in. All these updates, they just don't give you some additional features, but they also patch you with a lot of new form of attacks and exploits that come in. So that's the tip number one. Next is any application that you have, or for example, if you have a smart TV, if you have say a smart camera, if you have anything smart, any device that is digital, you need to protect that device with an antivirus and a firewall. So whether you have a computer or a mobile phone is now getting more powerful than a computer today. So you need to have a kind of a internet security application installed in a phone, because we have been observing a lot of attacks on the mobile phone now. Ransomware for mobile phones are also coming in, and crypto mining is being done through the mobile phone. So when your phone is idle, your phone is utilized by the cyber criminals to mine for cryptocurrencies. So that's something that you should know. You need to patch it. And what I have done, like in my home, there are a lot of people. In fact, my mom is there, my dad is there. The small children who are now doing their classes online. In fact, and they're very small to be taught about cybersecurity tips. So I'm trying my best to kind of make them understand about cyber hygiene. But what I have done it, I have a smart router. The router has an inbuilt firewall, inbuilt antivirus solution and everything. So whatever traffic goes in and out, it actually scans and protect for malicious traffic. So I suggest that you get a smart kind of a router. or a UTM for organization, and then you have those rules written so that it blocks malicious traffic. And also, for example, parental control. If you need to protect your children, you need to enable all these kind of controls so that they don't access to something wrong. You need to have a very strong password. I've seen people using their wife's name as password, their girlfriend's name as a password. It's very easy, very common form of attack. You can crack the password within seconds, or 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. I've seen institutions having numbers 1 to 9 as a password, which is extremely wrong. So use a strong password, mixture of uppercase, lowercase, special characters, and I do it like a phrase. I remember a phrase and just I put it as a password so that it's easy to remember, and it's a long password, and you have those special characters somewhere in middle or the end so that it is a difficult to break password. Enable two-factor authentication. Whether it's your social media or your email, you can enable two-factor authentication there. So just in case your password gets compromised, you have a second form of authentication which comes on your phone. So that would be safe, though there are some hacks now for two-factor authentication also, but 99% of the users can be safe enabling these particular tips, two-factor authentication and using strong password. Don't look for flashy offers. Like if you get a 90% off on Amazon, that could be a trap. Or if you're getting an iPhone, say 13 Pro or whatever edition is coming in, you need to be sure that you can't get that latest iPhone in 4,999 rupees. There could be something behind it. There are no free lunches. For security, I mean, a basic tip is don't believe in free lunches. Don't believe in free songs that you get from sites like songs.pk or a torrent site. Because all of that gets a lot of additional thing when they get installed, and then that could kind of hamper, or that could kind of steal all your personal and important information. Backup on a regular basis, whatever data that you have in your system, backup on a regular basis, because issues can happen anytime. Anytime you cannot say that I'll do my backup during weekend and after that I'll be safe. See, attacks can happen during the weekdays also. So Thursday night, there could be a hacker who gets into your phone and steals all your data when you're waiting for the weekend to take it back up. So make this as a regular habit. At least once in a week or once in 10 days, keep taking the backup. And when on a public Wi-Fi, be extremely careful. On a public Wi-Fi, wherever you see free Wi-Fi's, that's the place where you need to be extremely careful, because whatever stuff that you do there, each and every activity can be seen by the attacker. So be extremely careful of those free Wi-Fi's and also free charging points that you see at airports and all that, because they might steal all your data. Do things in a very secure way. Use VPN, use your own charger. Don't use those chargers that is hanging out of the public charging stations. And that's how you can at least keep yourself safe. 99% of the attacks are basically happening on this space. And the tips that I've shared can protect you from majority of the attacks.
So that was actually a very insightful conversation with you. Like, it was an honor having a dialogue with you, Mr. Vineet Kumar. And I would really like to thank you for joining us for this lovely session. And I will just end the meeting now, sir. Just end the
Sure.
recording now.
Pleasure is all mine.